After finishing God of War Ragnarok and taking the time to collect my thoughts, it is undoubtedly one of the best, if not the best, PS4 game ever made, bar none. Sony Santa Monica has done a fantastic job with this game, and you will feel this immediately from the moment you start the game. This game has taken everything from 2018 and improved on it, whether it's the writing, the acting, the visuals, the audio, the artistic design. Everything about this game is improved over its predecessor and is undoubtedly a Game of the Year contender. Everything all the way down to the accessibility features that are now in this game has been put this game in the conversation of being one of the best games ever made. So, without further ado, this game is a benchmark and a technical achievement for the PS4 hardware. I say PS4 hardware because it is a PS4 game, and even though I played it on PS5, it still felt like a PS4 game through and through, because if there was a complaint that I had about God of War Ragnarok, it comes in two forms. The first form is the game's overall pacing when it comes to the narration. The narration of this game, it starts on a high note and it plummets way down and goes very, very slow before it picks up again. This is obviously due to the fact of the nature of the game's story, as both Kratos and his son Atreus try to figure out what their role is in the prophecy of Ragnarok. However, once you hit the apex of the story, it kicks it into full gear, and it is a thrilling ride all the way to the end. Essentially, if you buy into the characters, and why wouldn't you, this is a sequel, you are in for an emotional roller coaster from beginning to end. You will go from happy to sad to angry to happy again, all in one go. And because of this game's technological achievement of no visual load screens, once you're in the game, you're in the game. You will easily lose hours at a time while playing this game. I said at the beginning that this is a PS4 game, which brings me to the second flaw of this game, is that it doesn't utilize the PS5 hardware efficiently. Yes, they do have multiple gameplay options in terms of how you want to play the game, whether you want to favor graphics, performance. If you have a 120 hertz display and it's set up properly, you can play the game with 120 frames. They have all those options, but they didn't utilize other features of the PS5 like I hoped they would. The DualSense controller, the features of the DualSense controller felt very gimmicky, and there was no real options to individually select how strong you want the features to be used. And to me, I felt that the DualSense features were just used as gimmicks. This is a very, very contrast from what other titles such as Horizon Forbidden West, where they did a real good job of using the DualSense features. So in my opinion, I felt it was a little lacking in that regard. The other one was this game, in my opinion, did not utilize the SSD as it should have. While the boot up time from main menu to a saved file is roughly 10 seconds, when you want to fast travel from one realm to the next, you still have to enter that tree world, run around for about 15-20 seconds before your portal opens to go to the next realm. This is contrast because Demon Souls allows you to go from the Nexus to a world in under 10 seconds. The fact that this is not in this game, and this is a PS4 game versus Demon Souls Remake, which was a PS5 game that also looked better than this game. I mean, I was a little disappointed that the PS5 hardware wasn't utilized to its full potential. But if these are the only two complaints that you have, and if you share these complaints with me, you're still playing one of the best games ever made. It doesn't change the fact that this is one of the best PS4 games, if not the best PS4 game ever made. Period. So, and those are the only real issues I had with this game. Everything else about this game, I loved it. I was addicted to it. I would play 3 to 4 hours at a time and just look at the clock and go, where did the time go? This game, it will suck you in and will hold you until you decide to look at the clock or until your body says, hey, it's time for some nourishment of some kind. Obviously, if you're familiar, you know there's things like the progression system on how you level up Kratos. You find the materials to upgrade his axe, to upgrade his blades of chaos. You also find upgrades for armor to make your armor stronger. Every piece of armor in the sets have their own unique perks to help you. Perks can be such as if you do a melee finish, you'll start a health regen, or you can also gain some more rage so you can craft over and get like super strong. There's different things that you can do to help augment Kratos as you would and as you'd expect from God of War 2018. The complaint that this game is a DLC, or the statement that people say, oh, this is a big DLC. I mean, I disagree. I think this game is a sequel. Skill Up said it himself that this kind of feels like a part 2 of something, and it does feel that way. So if you loved God of War 2018, there is no reason why you wouldn't love God of War Ragnarok. The only reason for anybody, and I mean anybody, to not like this game is because you didn't like its predecessor. And if you didn't, what can I say? It's your opinion. But if you like 2018, you're gonna love this game. This game has everything that was in 2018, but better. It is the sequel that fans have been waiting for, and if you told me that this is your game of the year, I'm not going to argue with you because I think it's definitely worthy of that title. I don't think it's game of the year personally. I think it falls ever so short, but it's still an amazing ride, and I loved it. In my final thoughts, I look at God of War Ragnarok as a pinnacle of game design from Sony. It is an example of why Sony has some of the best first-party titles ever. It is a reason why people buy a PlayStation to begin with. God of War Ragnarok is a benchmark in storytelling. It is a benchmark in art design. It is a benchmark in a technical achievement, especially given how old the PS4 hardware is. I'm giving God of War Ragnarok a 9.5 out of 10. This game is undoubtedly a masterpiece and definitely worth your time. I personally taking off a half point because of the pacing issues personally, but that's just me. This is Veteran Gamer, and I hope to see you guys next time.